Alrighty, so we are back to create another one of our helpful little helpers. And we're going to write the one by one email writer skill. We're going to create that. And the idea is that we're going to give it some frameworks that it can choose from. And these are frameworks, there's some not random, but these are a few of the frameworks that I use for writing. I'm going to give it the frameworks and I'll also give them to you so you have access to them as additional materials to this course. We're going to say these are the frameworks, and I've named the frameworks. For example, Nova. I have a triple R framework, and then we can say, here's a list of people. Use this framework to write them an email, or here's a person. Use that framework, or here's a list of people. Randomly pick a framework, like rotate through them, and write emails that way. That is what we're going to do now. And you can also, as with everything, you can chain it and say, okay, do research on this person, great, now write an email to that person, and so on. That's how all day long you can just have Claude working for you. So we're going to do that. We're going to come with a new name because we already have the original one. So for this course, let me see, we're going to call it just Cold Writer. I think the other one was called Copywriter, or let's just call it 1v1 Writer. And we're going to create that, give it the frameworks, and other than that, it's pretty straightforward. But let's just make sure that it has, everything that it needs. Let me add the files first. So, of a lot of the files in here, different files. So there are different frameworks for follow-ups. Then here is another file that I use as input. You'll get it as well, so you can use it, change it, not use it, but you'll have access to it. I want you to have access to the exact same things that I've have access to that I've built over 10 years doing this type of thing. So let's build it. Okay, Claude. So new skill that you're going to build using your skill builder skill. And this skill it's called 1v1 writer, and it is a copywriting skill to write cold emails for individuals. Now, when I ask for it, I want 3 emails. So first email, second email, and the follow-up, same as with everything. But the difference is that these emails, instead of being a sequence, they're going to be for one specific person. I may chain it with the other skills where first I ask for research on a person, then to write an email for that person, or I can just give a LinkedIn profile, and then with our playbook in mind, we need to have a look at that person and write the email. Or in some cases, it may be that I will provide a list, so a CSV Excel with individuals in there. And then for all of those people, we need to write the emails. In that case, I just want the CSV to be updated, and we add 3 columns to each row. Column one being the email, column two being the second email, column three being the third email. Actually, it should be 5 columns, and then 2 subject lines as well should be in there. If it's a CSV, if it's not a CSV, you just give me the 3 emails. That is it. And I've attached rules for writing and different frameworks that we're going to use. So that needs to be explicitly in there in the skill. And the skill should only be triggered using this exact command. Oh, yada yada. And I'm just 1v1 writer. That works, I think. And let me see. The beautiful thing about Whisper, sometimes when I correct myself while talking, it realizes it and then just changes it, which is beautiful. Let me see. Let me see. That all seems good to me. So let's have it create that skill. And then we are really far in actually doing this. Then we have all of our agents working for us, our skills. We can chain them, and hopefully by now you have just a really clear understanding of how we're building these skills. Now you can go more advanced with this. You can build, like, you can give skills access to different tools, which we'll do later. But for now, we're just building all of these let's say raw skills, and we can chain them, pick them, choose them however we want to use them. And then later we'll get into even more advanced stuff and give them access to tools and what have you. And there we go. So the 1v1 writer skill is built and live. So I'm actually going to download it, install it just to have it in my Claude workspace. So how it works, as we discussed, so there are two modes for single lead or for CSV or Excel list. In that case, we upload a list with lead data, and it will process every row, return the same file with 5 new columns. So these are the columns that we can then later reference in our sequencer. So there are frameworks baked in. So there's the default framework, the triple R, as I said, the Nova variant, and the problem list. So these are the frameworks that I use very frequently. So that's all in there. We can start using that. So you can specify a framework, for example, 1v1 for, or use framework number 3 or what have you. So we have this skill. I'm going to install it, and I might do a bonus video showcasing how what the output is like, but you have access to all the files, you have access to all the frameworks, you have access to everything you need to make this work. You have access to this exact skill as well. So that should give you enough. And then later, as we're doing like more of a bit of a chaining example, then when we run through everything, you'll see the output. For now, just create the skill or download mine, and then we're good to keep going just to have your whole army built out as fast as possible.